Welcome back to another episode of Missionary Moneymaker. I'm your host, Carl Winn, and I'm so glad you have joined me today. So I want to start off with this. Relationships are the real currency. Let me say that again. Relationships are the real currency. So over the last 6 episodes, we've been talking about START development, which we've already defined. START stands for shaping tomorrow, advancement right today. So the first 2 episodes in this series, we looked at spiritual development. What does that look like to be right with God? How do we grow in our relationship with God? And then we looked at the second 2, leadership development. How do we grow as leaders? Remember, because this is all about advancing, all about growing, all about getting better, progress over perfection in all of these areas. And then the last 2 episodes, we talked about economic development. We talked about economic development is all about the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, or products and services. Remember, our focus is, as missionary money makers, as those in the marketplace, is to create value for other people, helping others become more happy, healthy, and holy. And we do that by creating products and services that's going to help increase the quality of life and the standard of living for others. Remember, God has put us here not for consumption only, but for contribution. And so as we continue to move on in the START development series, this week we're going to look at relationship development. So if we are to shape tomorrow, advancement right today, then we must focus on relationship development, the cultivation of relationship, the acquisition of relationship, as well as the maintenance of the relationship. And so in the leadership series, I talked about how John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership. But in the context of relationship, it's the same. Everything rises and falls on relationships. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything rises and falls on relationships. Right? So if we want to shape tomorrow, advancement right today, then we got to get relationships right today. We got to start making progress in our relationships right today, whether that's with our clients, our team, our vendors, our community, our government, our family. We need to start developing relationships right today. So as we think about in the marketplace, remember, our focus is on this with this podcast is to help you increase your impact, your income, and your influence. And in order to do that, we must develop relationships. So that is going to be the focus of this episode, relationship development. So point number 1, if we're going to develop relationships, then we need to do this. We need to understand the necessity of relationships outside of family. So Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24 tells us this: a man that had friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that stick closer than a brother. Listen, God has placed us all in a family, which is great. And sometimes I ain't gonna say sometimes, but a lot of times our family members become our friends. But sometimes they're not our best friends. They're not friends that we can rely upon. So it's important to understand the necessity of building relationships outside of your family. And so in that context, we need other people. We need friends. We need associates. We need partners. We need team members. We need community people. We need the government. We need relationships outside of our family if we're going to shape tomorrow's advancement right today. So little story. So for the most part of my life, right, relationship development was not taught. And so I would say all of my informal, as well as, I ain't gonna say informal, but all of my formal and most of my positive informal instruction on relationship development came over the last 15 years of my life. It was born out of necessity. So what happened was 15 years ago, I started my first business. Now, mind you, I had no formal education of relationship development. So if you are in education somewhere, meaning public education in school, private education, and even in college, I want to encourage you, begin to think about how you can incorporate relationship development as a part of your curriculum. Because guess what? If our children, if the next generation is not focused on building relationships, then they're going to lack. Then they're not going to be able to show up the way that they need to. So you need to be focused on, how can I incorporate relationship development in my curriculum? In fact, we homeschool our children. And because of that, we focus on helping them think through relationship development. We're taking them through this START development program because we want them to be productive members of society. And in order for them to be productive members of society, they need to know how to acquire, cultivate, and maintain relationships. We don't want them to try to figure this out on their own. We want to give them the necessary tools so that they can start building relationships early and often as they can. And not just building, but building healthy relationships. Because you can build relationships and you can build them in an unhealthy way. And so for the most part, that's all I saw growing up. I saw informal relationship development that was negative, that was not healthy. However, that's not the case now, because I focus on, right now, even today, I'm focusing on growing how to develop healthy relationships. And again, it came out of the necessity of me starting my business. Now, mind you, before I had started my business, I was a correction officer. So I had no relationship development training at all. All of my relationships came to me at work. But building a business, it required me to learn how to build relationships, because I needed clients, I needed team members, I needed vendors, I needed the community to help me build my business. And one of my prayers over the last 4 years has been, Lord, connect me with godly men and women who can help me build my business and my life for your glory. And let me tell you, God has answered that prayer in a mighty, mighty way. Why? Because I realize this: in order for me to accomplish the vision and the mission and the goals that God has given me, I realize I need other people. And so that has been my prayer. So my encouragement to you is, one, pray this prayer: Lord, help me to be the person that other people can come to, where I can help them build their business and their life for your glory. So you pray that prayer to become that person. And then secondly, pray that prayer that I prayed. Pray the prayer, God, connect me to godly men and women who can help me build my business and my life for your glory. Now, you may not be a business owner, that's fine, but you can also still pray, help me to build my career, help me to build my work in such a way that brings you glory, even if you're not a business owner. Because guess what? You still need help. You cannot do this on your own. And so as we think about Proverbs 18 and 24, it is a call to action to go be friendly yourself. Go build relationships, right? If you want relationships, you got to go and be the one intentional about building them. Go be a good friend. So in life, we need to acquire, cultivate, and maintain relationship outside of our families. In the marketplace, if we want that, we need to develop that in our organization. Don't let the music die with you. That is something I've been telling Christians for the last year. Many Christians say that they want to write a book. Well, that is my goal, is not to let the music die with you. Because guess what? Once you die, the value that you have, it can't come back out. And writing a book is a great way to increase your impact, your income, and influence. And my goal is to help 10,000 Christians in 2026 write and publish a book. So if that's you, I want you to download this free worksheet. It's called 5 Ways to Finding Your Unique Book Idea. And I want to help you write your book. Remember, don't let the music die with you. Go ahead and start singing it loud and proud right now. And remember, this is not about pride, but it's about productivity. Point 2, nothing happens without others. So if we're going to shape tomorrow and advancement right today, we need to understand this. Nothing happens without others. You know, the very reason I can record this podcast is because of the simple fact of my mother and my father. Without these two meeting each other, there is no me. Right? So Ecclesiastes 4:9-12 says this. This is one of my favorite verses. It says this: 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he had not another to help him up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him. And a 3/4 cord is not quickly broken. So when we look at Ecclesiastes chapter 4:9-12, it tells us this, that we need other people. Nothing happens without others. You know, there is a term that's tossed around in business, in entertainment, in the sports world, is this: self-made. I hate this term, self-made. Why? Because it tells us this, that I did this on my own. I pulled myself up by my own bootstrap. When the truth is this, is that nothing can happen without other people. We all stand on the back of somebody else, right? The self-made man or woman defies all evidence, right? The evidence says that we all need other people. There is no self-made men or women. We need other people to advance. No matter what it is that we do or try to accomplish or have accomplished, it happened because of others, whether it's directly or indirectly. It happened because of others. And if it did happen because of people, which that didn't happen, it happened because of God, right? God is the one who gave us life, breath, and everything. So get this idea out of your mind that I'm self-made, that I'm going to pull myself up by my own bootstraps. That is a lie from the pit of hells. We don't need to try to pull ourselves up by our own bootstrap. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't need to be intentional and we don't take initiative. But the reality is that if we're going to succeed in any kind of way, it's going to be because of others. Nothing happens without others, right? So in the first point, I talked about our clients, our team, our vendors, our community, our government. And in order to succeed in business and life, each one of these constituents are important. Right? Even now, as I think about my marriage, as I think about my family, where I'm at today, I cannot be where I'm at today without my beautiful wife of 15 years, right? She supports me, right? I was reading an article yesterday about Jackie Robinson, and it was talking about his wife. She's 103 years old, but it talks about behind every great man, there's a great woman. And so by God's grace, God has blessed me with a great godly woman. And you know, Proverbs 18:22 says this: a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord. And so as I think about, you know, succeeding in life, like I'm where I'm at today because of others. I'm where I'm at today because of my wife. My wife loves me. She supports me. She keeps our home. She prays for me. She corrects me when I need to be corrected. Right? She holds me accountable. She loves me. She's my cheerleader, right? But also we need other people. And so a little bit about my background in business. So over the last 4 years, I have been able to build my business to support my family and the flexibility of my lifestyle. And it has been because of strategic partners. They are the men and women who are running businesses that I have partnered with. And together we've created mutual value, right? And so as we think about this, and so at this very moment, I don't have any employees, but these businesses are my team members and I need them. They need me. We work together. And so I treat them just as if they are one of my internal team members. I love on them. I support them. I try to make sure that I'm creating work or setting up projects in a way that's going to help them succeed and to execute in a way that's less stressful for them. Right? So we work together. So even now I'm working on a project that's focused on the importance of partnership and really how to leverage partnership, right? So I'm looking back at the great partnerships in history and seeing how they've impacted our lives and how I can replicate that going forward. Because at the end of the day, I know what the vision and the mission that God has given me cannot happen by me alone. I need strategic partners. And so I'm focused on that. And so as we close this second point, realize this: there's no self-made men or women. I know that term is passed around outside in the business world, in the entertainment world, in the sports world. There is no self-made person. We are where we are because of other people. We cannot pull that person. We cannot remove that from society and think we're going to be successful. We need other people. Welcome to Missionary Moneymaker, the podcast where making a dime is making a difference. I'm Carl James Winn Jr. And we believe this: mission and money were never meant to be separated. Every Christian in the marketplace is a missionary, called to create value, solve problems, and steward influence for the glory of God. This podcast is a discipleship movement, a marketplace masterclass, and a prophetic reframe of how we think about work, wealth, and calling. Here, we equip entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders to increase their impact, income, and influence without guilt, without comparison, just calling. If you're ready to leverage your past, walk in obedience, and build with purpose, you're in the right place. Let's go to work. So point number 3, focus on contribution. focus on contribution. So Philippians chapter 2, verse 4 and 5 says this: let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Because verse 5 says this: let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. So as we think about this last point, focus on contribution, right? There's nothing wrong with consumption. If we serve other people, we go to work, we should expect consumption. We should expect to get paid. But we remember our focus is not consumption though. Our focus is contribution. And so when we can focus on looking at the needs of other people, and so when we can focus on making sure other people's lives are more happy, healthy, and holy, right? It goes back to economic success, which is focused on the development and deploying of products and services that make other people's life more happy, healthy, and holy. When we can focus on that, our compensation is connected to our contribution, right? So another way to say it is our consumption is connected to our contribution. So when it comes to relationship development, you need to be focused. We need to be focused on how can I contribute to this person in front of me? How can I contribute to my team, my vendors, my community, my government, my city, my country? How can I contribute? That's what, as a Christian, that should be our focus when it comes to relationship development. In my marriage, right? I cannot expect my wife to be everything for me. And guess what? Even if she was, my focus is not on just consuming. God is going to hold me accountable for how I showed up and contributed for her, no matter how she contributed to me. And so as we focus on relationship development, we need to focus on contribution. And remember what I said in one of the last episodes is that if everybody focused on consumption only, somewhere down the road, we're going to lose resources, because there is no, the resources in order to restore and to refresh will be gone, right? If everybody just focus on me, then we're going to be depleted of resources. So in the terms of relationships, we need to be highly focused on contribution. And so in any networking or meeting you have with another person, you can ask this question, which will help you to contribute. You can ask, what is one thing I can do to help you achieve your goals? Or another question is, how does my product or services align with your goals, vision, or mission? I asked that question today in a meeting, and I got a really great reply, because I was sharing about what we do, how we show up, but what I wanted to find out is this: what we're doing, how does it contribute and complement what you're trying to accomplish? Right? That is the question of contribution. How do what I provide, whether it's a product or service, how does that align and contribute to your success? That should be our focus. If we're in a sales meeting, if we make a sales call, we need to ask ourselves, how does this align with helping you succeed? Remember, our focus is on helping other people become more happy, healthy, and holy. That is contribution. So we need to have questions around what does that look like for them to succeed. And even if you are a leader in your organization, you can ask these questions to your team members. You should be focused on contributing to your team members, because this is the truth. your contribution to your team members will determine their contribution to your clients, to the rest of your team, to your vendors, to your community, to your government, right? So you want to focus on how can you build up your team in such a way that they can consume from you so that they can go out and contribute. Remember, your contribution to your team is a seed so that it can grow into a harvest so that your team members can go out and make a difference. And so as we think about START, which stands for Shaping Tomorrow, Advancement Right Today, we must focus on relationship development. We need to focus on, first, understanding the necessity of relationships outside of our families. We need other people outside of our families. That is why God has given us a community. What I do or don't do affects everybody. Think about that. What I don't do or do affects everybody. So go out and build relationships with people outside of your family. The second thing, nothing happens without others. That's plain and simple. Nothing happens without others. There is no self-made men and women. We all are where we are based on what other people did in the past. We're all growing. We're all succeeding based on somebody else's contribution. So I just want to say, hey, first of all, thank you for who you are. Those people who came before me, thank you for what you built, right? We're about to celebrate in a few days the independence of this great nation, right? I'm praising God for the men and women who sacrificed to be where we are in our nation. 250 years of independence. Men and women gave their lives so we can be free, right? And so we need to focus on celebrating the ones that came before us, remembering that. And so as July 4th is coming in a few days, let us celebrate the men and women who went before us. Let us celebrate our family members who gave their lives so we can be free, right? Let us celebrate. Because remember, nothing happens without others. And then the third thing, focus on contribution. When you get up every day, you need to be asking yourself, how can I make somebody else's life more happy, healthy, and holy? How can I contribute to somebody else's success today? That should be your focus. I don't care what age you are. I don't care where you are in your business. I don't care what you do for business. You need to be waking up every day, going to your office. Before you wake up, focus on who can I contribute today? How can I serve somebody today? That should be your focus. So as we wrap up this episode, remember, if we're going to shape tomorrow, advancement right today, we must focus on relationship development. Don't worry if you are starting somewhere that you may say it's not good. Remember, I started from scratch. I had to start just by starting a business. And guess what? It doesn't matter, because remember, it's progress over perfection. It's about taking that inch, taking that next step. And so I want to challenge you today. What is one step that you can take today that's going to help you build relationships? What is one thing that you can do? Let me know in the comments what it is that you're going to do. And remember, we're trying to build a community of missionary money makers. And so if you know other people who can benefit from this podcast, from this community, go ahead and send them the link to this episode, to this podcast, and get them connected to this community. Other than that, God bless you, God keep you, and remember, go ahead and live this out. Missionary Moneymaker, where making a dime is making a difference. This is a discipleship movement, a marketplace masterclass, and a bold reframe of mission and money, helping Christians increase impact, income, and influence without guilt, without comparison, just calling.